Hello, greetings to everyone. Myself, Parth Kathria here. I am from Gold Coast Group 70, and today we are gonna discuss about ITL process reference model for realizing the IT governance. So, will we understand the basically what is ITL process and what are the main challenges while we implicate that on the business and we'll further discuss about how we can improve that. So here's IT governance makes ensuring that expenditures in technology are in line with business objectives. The way big businesses like band handle the IT infrastructure provides a real world illustration of this. A bank putting IT governance into a practice, for example, would set up a structure for managing its online banking offerings. This guarantees that the IT infrastructure facilitating internet banking is in accordance with the goals of the organization, including boosting security and customer satisfaction. The bank may use the IT governance to put in place a risk management procedure that would find any security flaws in its system. To secure consumer data, for example, the governance structure can require frequent security assessments like proactively addressing cybersecurity concerns. This guarantee that the IT risk management is a continual activity rather than a reactionary one. So resource optimization is a further example. The bank could guarantee that the service IT governance would assist in determining which projects would receive further fundings. To put it briefly, the IT governance ensures that the IT provides quantifiable value to the company by helping the managing risk, optimization resource, and assure accountability across the department. So staff members, ITL compliance, and sustain advances in service quality. Staff members must get ongoing training to ensure they are adept with the new procedure and tools. This calls to the provision of the sufficient resource. A plethora of the industry standard and the reference models, including ITIL, ISO frameworks, and COBIT, have been developed to assist the enterprise in the implementing efficient IT governance procedures. These frameworks offer organized method for handling risk, IT procedures, and compliance needs. There is not a single model that works for all businesses. Instead, implementing efficient IT governance procedures, these frameworks offer organized method for handling risk, IT procedures, and compliance needs. There is not a single model that works all business. Instead, components from several frameworks must be customized to meet the unique operational situations and strategic goals of each one. The enhanced service quality maximize resource usage and create more transparent accountability within the IT department by implementing ITL's methodological approach to process management. So, through the ITL is widely used, there is a dearth of scholarly studies evaluating how well ITIL can improve IT governance procedures. Although there is evidence in how well, so there is evidence in the literature that ITL facilitates improved governance. There are few though studies that provide empirical support for this claim. This disparately suggests that more research is necessary to determine how ITL may be methodically used to enhance the governance result. The senior management support, organizational commitment, and the group efficiency are the three crucial main elements that are necessary for the successful implementation of IT governance frameworks, including ITIL. So the atmosphere and senior management engagement is very crucial for obtaining resource and strategic alignment. Furthermore, a key factor influencing the possibility of governance framework acceptance and continued use is group efficiency. So the success factors, this emphasizes the need for more thorough research techniques for to examine the subtitles of implementing an IT governance structure. Subsequent research endeavors out to concentrate on quantitative across the heterogeneous organizational environments. And in this slide, we are just gonna understand about what is ITIL and how it's implicated on the businesses. A comprehensive framework for the best practice for IT service management ITSM called the ITIL IT Infrastructure Library is intended to match business requirements with IT services. ITIL was created in the 1980s by the British government and has since developed to handle the complexity of the contemporary IT settings. It places a strong emphasis on a service oriented methodology that improves operational effectiveness and customer happiness. So, ITL offers comprehensive guidelines for managing IT service throughout their lifespan and includes essential components including service strategy, service design, service transfer, service operation, and strategies and continuous service improvement. One example of ITL in action is the incident management procedure. The company used the structured incident management method of ITL when the crucial systems such as a customer relationship management CRM tool goes down. This entails actions such as locating the problem, documenting it, classifying it, and ranking events according to the how they affect the company. Looking into the underlying cause, the finally resuming service to minimize any downtime. This mathematical strategy ensures continuity and improves customer happiness by assisting enterprise in a swiftly recovering from the catastrophes. Moreover, the ITL makes a substantial contribution to the efficient IT governance. ITL guarantees that the IT investment yield optimum value by concentrating on service delivery and coordinating IT services with business goals. The ITL framework's integration of several procedures, experience, and the guaranteeing efficient government via mathematical procedures and the ongoing improvement, the business may increase the effectiveness and the best practices into the practice.
In spite of ITIL, IT infrastructure library for IT governance being widely used. The literature currently in publication mostly consists of in-depth empirical research that denies ITIL applicability in actual situations. Instead of solid facts, a lot of statements about the advantage of ITIL like higher service quality are frequently supported by descriptively analysis or evidence. A large portion of current research stays away from the underlying processes that enable the benefit of ITIL, instead reporting the benefit of the system. For instance, some reports show improve service delivery following ITIL implementation, but they don't look into the precise procedures that made the gains, which limits the useful information that can be provided to enterprises. Systematic reviews of ITIS function over time and necessary. It is difficult to say if early gains in service management are maintained or if they decline when organizational objectives change in the absence of research. Research that has already been done often focus or substance geographical setting, include those into the United States and Australia, which may not be applied to the areas and industries. For example, the Nordic region uses ITML extensively. There are few studies how sector or culture specific elements affect ITIL applicability in this setting. IT is suggested that empirical research testing ITIL theory and done in order to fill these gaps. Subsequent investigation to consultation of verified approaches and environmental examination particular cases studies from the sectors to recognize said in the implementation of ITIL. The deeper comprehensive will improve the frameworks adaptively effectively in range of organizational settings. Application of ITIL require the backing of senior management as is guarantee the provision of sufficient resources and the in IT endeavors with organizational objectives. For example, funding supported by the ITSM, Information Technology Service Management, and employee training may be necessary for a firm wishing to use ITIL. Senior executives may foster a culture the priorities service management by actively promoting ITIL, which increase the likelihood of successful adoption. To successfully implementation of ITIL practices, personal and management commitment is required. Sufficient resource allocation and a willingness to adapt culturally to adopt ITIL and indicators of high organizational commitment. One instance in business that conducts trainings and sessions to the information staff members about the benefit of ITIL concepts. An organization chances of successfully implementing the ITIL frameworks are increased when its personnel comprehend and have faith it in. Successful ITIL adoption depends on group efficiency or the implementation team's overall confidence. A team is more likely to succeed if the confidence is in ability to ITIL procedures. For example, a team of IT experts who have worked together and past could more confidence in their ability to meet the obstacles and implementing ITIL drawing on their prior achievements on the fresh initiatives. Having access to both human and financial resources is essential for implementation ITIL effectively. Business need to make sure they have resources, personnel and knowledge required. A business that allocates funds for ITIL training and has a dedicated IT staff will be in the stronger position to execute the strategy successful than one of that does not. Organization may increase the chances of success by customizing their ITIL adoption method based on an understanding of how the determining interact. To ensure preparation for the trip ahead, evaluating these elements beforehand may be achieved for intents by completing a radiation of assessment before the initiation ITIL implementation.
Inputs, human capital and technology tools is necessary for the successful implementation of ITIL. To support ITIL produces, for instance, a company would have to spend money on IT service management software. Without this financial commitment, it is likely that the implementation won't produce the expected results. Since it affects the entire effectiveness of ITIL projects, financial commitment is crucial. Funding must be set aside by organization for the continuing supporting tools and training required for ITIL based practices. For example, a business may allocate a certain amount of funds for ITIL training courses for its personnel, realizing that competent staff members are necessary for the effective use of ITIL. On the next part we will discuss regarding just a one moment process management consequences. Because ITIL offers an organized framework for better IT process management, its development is favorably connected with improvement in process management practices in business. An organization that implement ITIL, for example, may see a major involvement in the incident management processes. It may standardize the reporting, prioritization, and resolution of problems by following ITIL rules, which would improve customer satisfaction and response times. In order to ensure consistent treatment of comparable circumstances, ITIL places a strong emphasis on the standardization of processes. The delivery of service is made more predictable and efficient by this standardization. For instance, the use of ITIL can result in a consistent method of ticket administration in an IT service desk setting where all service requests are all classified in the identical manner. Because of its uniformity, process run more smoothly by reducing misunderstanding and mistakes. ITIL encourage through process documentation which ensure an adherence to best practice and act as a staff references. These kinds of records are also helpful for onboarding new workers and preserving the caliber of services. As a part of an ITIL implementation, a firm may, for instance, create a comprehensive service catalog that lists all of IT services it offers together with their description, service levels, and support contacts, all of which would improve accountability and transparency. Just one moment. One of the main tenets of ITIL is defining expectation ownership for IT activities. There should be a disconnected owner for each process who is in charge of performance and ongoing development. For instance, design process owner may monitor all change requests, ensure that specification process are followed, and assess the efficiency of the process in a business that is using ITIL. ITIL emphasizes companies to measure key performance indicators to evaluate effectiveness and point areas for development. Regular process monitoring is a fundamental component of ITIL. For example, a company may use key performance indicators like response and resolution times for its service level management procedure. Periodic evaluations of these measures, permanent data driven choices to improve service provision and tackle ineffectivenesses. Last part we gonna talking about future direction ITIL. There is an urgent need for information research that rigorously examines that complexities of IT governance frameworks such as the ITIL, focusing on their effectiveness across various contexts. Future research could include longitudinal studies that track organization over time to evaluate the long-term impacts of ITIL implementation on service delivery and governance also. Next topic about to capture the multifaceted nature of IT governance and ITIL implementation. Future studies should adopt a mixed methods approach, combination quantitative and quality methodologies. For instance, research could conduct survey to gather quantitative data of ITIL's impact while also performing in-depth interviews with IT managers to collect qualitative insights on the challenges faced during implementation. This dual approach can provide a more comprehensive understanding of the framework effects. Given that contextual variable can differ greatly between sectors, geographical location, and organization culture, it is essential to investigate how these aspects affect the efficiency of IT governance frameworks. For instance, studies might look into how culture variable impact the update and efficiency of ITIL across national boundaries, providing insightful information for global businesses. Integration of frameworks. Since organizations frequently use several governance frameworks, more studies should be done to determine how to best integrate this framework in order to improve overall IT governance. A research study may examine how companies successfully integrate ITIL with SCOBIT or other frameworks to create a holistic governance plan that tackles risk and service management. Longitudinal research can provide insight into how IT governance practices have changed over time, especially with relation to the long-term variability of the advance gained from ITIL adoption. To determine the framework's long-term worth, researchers may, for instance, follow an ITIL implementation organization over a number of years to see how its governance produces challenges and responds to shifting business requirements and technologies and developments. Thank you.
Is one of the government's framework that organization must be careful choice to ensure that it fits their specific operational setting and strategic objective. In this selection process, The suitability of server framework and the particular demand of the company are assessed. For instance, because of ITIL as strong service management producer that is meeting regulatory compliance standards, finance service compliance may choose to use IT. Though an evolution of operational such as the business many modify ITIL producer to improve customer satisfaction and compliance with regulation. The effect implementation of framework like ITIL require the active participation of the top management with their help essentially ensure our object and culture of efficient IT governance and service management is fostered to motivated personnel and create an atmosphere that is favorable for effective implementation. The CIO of a healthcare institution of for example might spread the ITIL implementation effect by outlining the advantage to staff, setting clear and supporting training integration, putting putting money into training and development culture to provide employees the know-how and abilities required for successful ITL adoption. They cover both official training course and possibility of the job training. For its IT works, a technology company may create a thought training that include ITL certification class and guidelines from second professional by showcasing and dedication to professional development. This investment promotes staff morale and relative while also building capacity. It is important to consumer improvement culture in order to ensure that IT services are in line with change business goals compared should evaluation this a regular basic to find area and improvement to ensure adaptability is shifting consumer and market condition or relate organization employing ITIL for instant may set up feedback loop for IT professional and business unit to example IT service on quality base there are possibilities as well difficulties in the changing field of IT governance. Companies need to be flexible and modify their governance strictly in responsible market needs change and technology breakthroughs to ensure that IT service they complete and satisfy business goal. For example, frame may ITL implementation as core computing become more complex and include cloud service management based analytics of ITR has a framework for betting IT governance regular how much of improvement in process management and organization performance IT can make ITL offer systemic method for monitoring and IT operationally additional to coordinating IT service with business goal. ITL is a useful tool for competitive for all complex IT governance since it plays strong implementation on process management when implemented IT improve the provisional of high quality IT service that satisfies changing business requirement and make it for IT strategy and organization objective to implements validation of ITL institution on governments and particularly citizens need to give the majority of research and currently is publication is the depreciation of thought evaluation alternate business claim method ITL is beneficial its cultural effects is unknown due to lack of comprehensive reviews and investigation must consist on offering strong implement proof of support the stat advantage organization community group effect and senior management support of implement factor the success of ITIL option in order to efficiently integrate ITIL and increase the chance of long-term advantage IT is implemented are acknowledged and addressed when implement ITL. Organization may run into issue including lack of training, resource of changing revolution, and comprehensive objects in certificate in order to advise that promote a culture that welcomes change of allocate the required research and training. Education is integral and constitutive elements ITL development required going to study is the recommendation and forthcoming research and or undertake imperial investigation in various organizations actually provide variable of optimization units of ITL is IT governments and service provision. In conclusion, even if ITL present a number of chances of improving IT governments of more research and verification of effect are necessary to changing nature of the IT government.